Do you have problems like this in your car where it's just falling apart and you just don't know if it's worth fixing it, but you love the car and you want to fix it? Stick around and I will show you how you can save your car from rust. Here we have an overview of how the car looked before we started the job. You can see these big holes, a lot of rust, just a lot of work to do. So here are the products that I used for this job. I used the gel rust dissolver, which is a chemical product that removes the rust from your metal. I used pre-paint, which cleans the surface after you have applied the rust dissolver. And then lastly is seal. This is the texturized rust encapsulator. You can get this so it's not textureless, but basically a rust encapsulator which seals the metal so no more rust will come back or it will penetrate the metal. These are the main products. To achieve the different things that these are supposed to achieve, I use things like brushes, either for a drill or as you're gonna see, mechanical hand brushes. I use air to clean surfaces, you know, um, paper towels, and of course with the proper protection. But what I wanted to focus on is not just showing you everything that I use, but basically I wanted to introduce you to this line of Eastwood of products that I use to do the things that I'm going to show you in this video. So I will leave a link below so you can reach the website that I got all these products, so you can get it for your project. So our first step is to cut the big pieces of metal that they are way too far gone. They're just completely rusted, they're just hanging by a couple little pieces, so they just need to go away. So I use a grinder to cut those big pieces. Just cutting those pieces, I was making sure that I was cutting as straight as I could. That way when in the future when I go ahead and weld a new piece of metal, having that straight line is gonna make it that much easier to fabricate that piece. So now that we have cut the big pieces of rust, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna make sure that we remove all the surface rust. I'm gonna be using a drill, but depending what you have, you can use a drill or you can use a hand brush, or there's other tools that you can use. But the main thing that you want to do is make sure that you remove as much of the surface rust as there is on the vehicle, and you want to expose that good metal. The way that this guy works, it just goes here on the drill. So you go ahead and open that guy, insert this guy. Once it's there, secure it. This will make our job much easier. Some lights over here. Sometimes you just don't have another choice that hit it with this guy, especially up here where I can't really get there with the drill. So you guys see how it looks shiny once you remove the rust. That's what it does. It just looks shinier. So that's when you know that you're closer to. Even though it looks darker, it's good enough to put our encapsulator. I'm gonna remove this little edge right here of the previous undercoating, just to see how it's under it. We have rust under there, how we had in the rear corner. If you guys remember, we had a lot of rust under the undercoating. No, we're looking good there. Looks like there is no, finally, a place that we don't have we don't have any rust. So that's good news. So we don't have to really worry about taking much more of this undercoating. So that's great. We'll have dowel protection there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to clean this edge right here, so when I'm doing my welding, it's easier to do my template. So I went ahead and I removed as much of the loose rust as I could, and I cut those edges in some other places. Also I tried to remove all the loose rust as much as I could. Even here, as you can see, I was able to remove the underlining all the way until the good metal showed up all around the edge. So what we're gonna do right now is gonna go ahead and use one of these guys with my air compressor. I'm gonna just blow everything to get all the loose rust from all those places that I wasn't able to get. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Just turn on the air, blow as much of the air of the rust as I can, and then after that we'll go ahead and we'll apply our gel rust dissolver.
A few moments later.
So now that we blow off all the rust, the loose rust and the particles and everything that was on the surface, now we're ready to apply some of the gel dissolver, rust dissolver. So what we will do is we'll pour it into this little container here. It's fancy container, eh? It's just a piece of, just a can of Pepsi. And I'll pour in here just a little bit, and then with of course using gloves and air respirator. This stuff is nasty stuff. And then we'll use a brush just to apply it everywhere that we have the rust. So here's the before, and go ahead and, like I say, you want to be really generous with this. So apply as much as you can possibly can. You can do several coats if you want, you know. Just go ahead and put it everywhere that you can see. I mean, and if you put it in places where you don't see rust, just go ahead and put, you know, sometimes there's rust where you cannot even see it. So go ahead and coat everything, all the affected area that you're working on. And this will ensure that once we put the encapsulator, this rust will never come back. And that's what we want. You know, we don't want this to come back. This was what, you know, if the previous owner would have done this, you know, sooner than before I bought the car, and this job would be way faster than we're having to deal with. But hey, here we are. So once we are done applying this gel in this back corner, what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this gel sit for a while, you know, a couple hours. The more that you let it sit, the better that it's gonna work. So I am actually gonna leave it overnight to let the chemical act on the metal and remove all the rust away. 2 days after, allowing the gel to work, as you can see, what it does, it just lifts up all the rust that was left. So what we had to do, it kind of leaves a film. So what we have to go now and do is go ahead and clean all that up, so it's gonna be ready for our encapsulator. Now that we are done scraping everything with the brush, we will use this
product is called pre-paint, and basically what it does, it just gets rid of all the greases and all the remains of the product that they're not removed physically. So we'll spray this and then we'll wipe it off to make sure that all the surface is clean before we apply the paint.
We'll let the pre-paint dry, pre-paint dry, and then we'll heat it with the encapsulator. Even though if we forgot we missed any spots, it should penetrate and make it so the rust won't come back again. So here's the final job. So I have removed all the dust, and I had encapsulate everything, so everything has the first coat of the encapsulator. And now we're gonna start doing some metal. So if you like today's episode, make sure that you stick around for the next episode where we're gonna actually start doing the metal down here, where we're gonna reconstruct everything that the rust has eaten away. So make sure that you come back, and thank you so much, and see you next time.